Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, like it says here, I am laying in bed and I have depression. The depression went away, but it seems to be back, which could be from working a bit and just not really being recovered enough to recover from the drain of energy that if I was fully recharged wouldn't be so draining to the point of it putting me back in depression, almost saying, okay, you're not as well as you thought you were. Sure, you feel better, quite a bit better, but doesn't mean you have lots of energy for others yet. The other thing is, for the last number of nights, I have forgotten to look at a candle flame. I was doing that like 10 or 15 minutes before I went to bed. Somebody gave me that tip, and I seem to wake up in the morning and be more refreshed and not really have a sense of depression or really a sense of anything. I just woke up and got on with the day. And regarding laying in bed, for me, I generally never lay in bed unless I'm sleeping or trying to get back to sleep or giving myself a little bit of time to wake up. But I don't ever think, oh, I'm going to lay in bed for a while after I'm awake. It's laying in bed, feeling like, okay, I'll get up either right away if my alarm goes off or as soon as I feel awake, which a lot of times that's right away if I'm feeling good, I'm not in a depressive phase. If I'm in a depressive phase, I feel like it takes a little bit to get up, but I never have this feeling of like, okay, I'll just lay in bed. I did a little bit when I was really depressed, but I didn't want to lay in bed. So today is the first day that I actually propped up my pillows, put these armrests beside me, put my laptop on my lap desk, one of those little wooden things with the pillow underneath. I think it's called a lap desk. And when I was manic a few months ago, I bought a new TV, nothing extravagant, just 43-inch TV for the living room, and then the old TV I had mounted in my bedroom. Now, the goal with that wasn't to lay in bed and watch TV. It was actually to eventually learn live blood cell analysis and have the TV as the visualizer for the live blood cell microscope for people to see. So that was really the intention. And since I got that mounted months ago, like almost 5 months ago now, wow, I can't believe it's been that long. I wasn't watching any TV on it because the Apple TV was hooked up to the new TV. And then one day I realized, oh, I can hook the Apple TV up to the old TV because it's not a smart TV, and just use the smart TV features for the new one. And I probably set that up over a month ago, maybe more. And I haven't laid here and watched TV in bed at all. Like, it wasn't really part of the plan. But this morning is the first day I'm like, I just want to like lay in bed. And I've never had that feeling where I want to lay in bed and do work. The last few months, I definitely had a feeling like I don't want to sit up and do work on the computer. I wasn't able to use the computer for at least 3 months. Wasn't able to really use it at all. But about almost 2 months ago now, about a month and a half ago, I was able to start like looking at the computer again. I could sit at the table or sit on the couch. I didn't sit at my desk at all. But there was this feeling like I just don't want to sit up. And so I was able to lay down on the couch and put something to prop my feet up to make it easier to sort of lay on the couch and be on the computer. But for some reason, there was still this sort of pull to maybe lay in bed and try that. It feels almost like a surrender to the depression. Almost like, okay, I'm going to take the depressive posture that is almost something I've just never ever done, which is like have a TV in the bedroom, be laying in bed, propped up with a computer. And it's interesting, I'm doing this now when I was pretty much out of the depression, but it's like coming back and just being like, okay, fine. I'm just going to lay in bed. I've never liked laying in bed except when I'm sleeping. I like to get up. Even all through the 3-month depression, I got up every day. I didn't try to set up the TV to watch it in here. It had no Apple TV. And I would go to the couch. Now, of course, that is good sleep hygiene, as it's said. But I just feel like I said, doing the thing that I don't think I was resisting, but it's just something I'd never done. Yet there was this feeling that I wanted to. It sounds weird, right? It sounds like, oh, I've had this goal that I've never done it before. I wanted to try it. Something telling me I just wanted to try laying in bed with my computer. It sounds kind of weird, like an anti-goal. It's the posture of an anti-goal, but the wish is to be able to work on some of this that almost seems too much energy to sit up and do. So I'm just going to go with that. Funny enough, though, last night when I was getting ready for bed, I was watching a video came on my YouTube feed, and yesterday I talked about how yesterday morning I clicked on a video by Jon Batiste, and he plays the piano and he's a musician and he can improvise, and he's basically a genius, and he had so much joy. So here's this being of light, like able to do that, right? And then at the end of the day, the last video I watched that came up on my YouTube feed, and I clicked on it, was about the man who lived in the iron lung because he had polio. Here it is here. He passed away 3 years ago. I didn't know he passed away, and I remember seeing something about him very briefly, but I didn't know anything. And so when I watched this video, he basically shares that he did a law degree. He did a law degree in his life. He wrote a book by using some kind of device that he crafted or was crafted for him to be able to type on a keyboard. He would read every day. He would be able to turn the pages. He had this incredible will to live, and he lived and did things considering his situation. So, juxtapose that with Jon Batiste, who is this wonderful man, perfectly able-bodied and using it in such grace and beauty with the piano, like, wow, and such joy. And then this man, this is like the complete opposite. His situation is the complete opposite, where he can't move his hands. Well, maybe he can in there, but he can't use them. He can't walk. He was able to learn to breathe on his own to some extent. I'm watching another video about that. And he had to like gulp the air. It was like consciously gulping the air in order to breathe. But he wouldn't have been able to walk. And just this tremendous ability to do something. Like, he could have been super depressed about his situation, and maybe at times it got to him, but he was still able to make the most and the best of his life. So in the opposite physical situation as Jon Batiste, but able to do what he was able to do, which, to study law and get a law degree is not easy. So here I am today, first day, laying in bed on the computer, laying like Paul here is. And, I'm able-bodied, yet there's this depression. So Paul in the Iron Lung has this will to live and this joy and this appreciation. And then Jon Batiste has the same thing, different situation, right? But then for me, like, laying here right now, I felt depressed when I woke up. Like, why don't I have that same joy? But then at some points I do, right? I have energy. I have so-called mania, or just energy and not mania. And I'm not trying to compare or anything. For me, the fascinating part is the video that I see the first thing in the morning, which is Jon Batiste, and then at the end of the day. It was just fascinating that that's what the algorithm presented to me. It's like, see all these different scenarios. And it's not comparable, right? Like, the depression for me, I started to feel and have a sense of like, okay, I watched so much YouTube and I saw how much is going on in the world. So that's also probably weighing on me. And then going back to work has been challenging. So again, I'm not trying to compare myself. I just thought it was really interesting. And I did feel a sense of, okay, like, if Paul can live a good life, so can I. But I'm still, by laying down in bed on my laptop, I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to stay here, like life is terrible. It's almost like just saying, okay, I'm going to go take even a further step back before I step forward. I'm going to step back, and maybe by laying down and working on something, I'll feel less depressed, in that I can conserve energy. And then maybe by getting the work done, I will feel more energy. So the goal is to get the work done, whatever that is. And part of me, I was watching another video before. I was watching a video about Paul, and it was actually about ray gun, which is, I heard the term, but I didn't really remember what that was about. And so when I watched it, I was like, oh, what's ray gun again? It was like a body language and analysis person. But what struck me about watching this video was, at the end, he was talking about how, Reagan, I don't think I said it yet, she was the Australian B-girl breakdancer.